Some players in the NBA are simply there for a paycheck. Others are locked in, chasing the glory of a championship ring. And then there are those rare players who play for the pure love of the game, because basketball runs through their veins.
At least he did for a moment. Blows past him. And score!
If you haven't noticed yet, LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets isn't just playing basketball. He's rewriting the script, redefining what it means to be a true hooper in today's NBA.
Now he's pick up a foul.
Oh, easy tell for the foul!
The moves he's pulling off feel like they're from Rucker Park. And it might be a bit premature to say, but I'm getting the feeling that LaMelo could be the NBA's modern-day Allen Iverson, a player who brought the raw essence of streetball into the heart of the association. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know by now, the NBA is facing a viewership crisis, and while LaMelo Ball wasn't the name many expected to go viral in a time like this, by the end of this video, you'll see that he might just become the most pivotal figure the game has seen in years. NBA. I mean, just look at this play where Giannis misses the game winner against the Hornets. Now, listen to what LaMelo said about it during the post-game interview.
What did you see right here when Giannis took that shot and everyone was underneath the basket for that rebound?
You said that last play when he took the shot? Yeah, we loaded up. That's what we wanted. Put the hand up and then live with the results.
Did you know that LaMelo Ball got fined $100,000 for this 10-second-ish interview? Honestly, when I first heard about the fine, I did what everyone else did. I replayed the interview from start to finish, and to be real, it took me 3 or 4 tries before I finally understood why the NBA fined him.
Yeah, we loaded up.
I don't want to get too deep into this, but honestly, this fan's comment pretty much nails it. I don't know what's funnier, LaMelo saying that or the league fining him over it, laughing emoji. Y'all see these pink shoes, right? Look at their position. The left foot is almost flat on the ground, while the right one's just barely touching the ground. Now, those are LaMelo's shoes, and based on that stance, you'd probably think he's about to drive to the basket, right? But nope, LaMelo is so unconventional that this is actually how he shoots the ball sometimes. It's honestly so weird, and I can't figure out why he does it because it's not like he always shoots like that, as you can clearly see here. So, unconventional is probably the perfect word to describe him. I mean, these awkward stance shots almost look like one-footed attempts. And seriously, when was the last time you saw someone dance around a bit, then casually pull off a step-back, one-legged fadeaway 3? It's the kind of move you'd expect in a streetball game. Yet, here he is, pulling it off in the NBA against some of the toughest defenders in the world and making it look easy.
He's found his stroke.
Frankly speaking, we should have seen this coming, especially with the wild stuff he was pulling off in high school, like casually pointing to the ground before sinking half-court shots. But man, the stuff LaMelo's doing is flashy, and that's exactly what the NBA has been missing lately. Don't get me wrong though, NBA teams today are more skilled than ever. Players are shooting better than at any point in history. We can see it on the court, and the numbers and analytics back it up. The problem is, the focus on efficiency is turning the NBA into one big algorithm. And the absolute truth of the matter is, it's starting to turn viewers off. I'm not saying this is the only reason the NBA is becoming less appealing to fans, but here are some of the key sentiments fans are sharing about why the league might be struggling with ratings. NBA ratings suck because of too many three-point shots. I agree, every single team does the exact same thing. Could be that every possession of every NBA game goes like this: dribble past half court, pass, shoot three-point, repeat 200 times. I've been an NBA fan since 1972. The NBA today is hard to watch because of too many threes. Shooting 55 plus threes a game? Yup, every game is a three-point contest. What's paradoxical about LaMelo Ball bringing more excitement to the league is that he's actually taking more threes than anyone else this season, averaging nearly 13 attempts per game. The difference, though, is that his threes aren't your typical algorithm threes. I mean, just look at some of them. Fading one-footed threes while going left, off the dribble, step back, one-footed threes. Have you ever seen anything like this coming from one man on a daily basis? It's absolutely wild. It almost looks like he's not even taking the game seriously.
Left-handed cross-court pass. Sets up Aubrey. Oh, he missed that, LaMelo.
On top of his one-legged threes, he's pulling off all kinds of crazy moves on the court. The kind of stuff I used to see back in high school when kids were just trying to show off. Kyrie pulls off moves like this occasionally, but LaMelo, it feels like he's trying to bring Chino Hills basketball into the NBA with every single game. Like, just look at this alley-oop he throws in transition. He was still mid-stride and doesn't even jump. Or this stop on a dime step-back three that left both defenders completely lost. Or this dance, followed by a spin, a downhill drive, and a smooth shot over the secondary defender. Sheesh, guys. On top of all that, the man is cooking the elites of the elites while putting up some insane numbers. First off, he's averaging 31 points per game, second to only Giannis, the Greek freak himself. Let me say that again. LaMelo Ball is averaging 31 points per game. That's right up there with what prime LeBron James, prime Kevin Durant, and prime Steph Curry were doing during their craziest seasons. That's some pretty elite company to be in, especially when you're out here treating the NBA like your own personal playground. Like, it's one thing to rack up points in a system that operates like an algorithm, but it's a whole different game to drop 30 while you're pulling off all sorts of crazy moves on the court. And here's where it gets even crazier. He's not doing this against low-level cone-like defenders. Take Giannis, for example. Former Defensive Player of the Year, a 5-time All-Defensive Team member, and still in his prime at 29. Yet, in a recent matchup between the Bucks and Hornets, LaMelo was cooking him like barbecue chicken. I mean, Giannis had absolutely no answer to stopping LaMelo, and honestly, it was wild to watch. Like, here's the Greek freak, a 6'11" powerhouse with a 7'4" wingspan, in the peak of his athletic prime, getting schooled by LaMelo, who went on to drop 50 on him. Funny enough, one fan summed up Melo's game perfectly. Bro plays like he has one AirPod in. All jokes aside, LaMelo and his style of play might be exactly what the NBA needs right now. It's exciting, it creates buzz, and most importantly, it's the kind of basketball that fans love to watch. But here's the challenge. How does the NBA embrace this? The league is deeply rooted in ring culture. If you don't win a championship, you're nobody, and the critics never stop. Just look at Charles Barkley, for example. The man's been a legend on the court, but for over 2 decades, he's been clowned for one thing: never winning a ring.
I achieved greatness. Shaq, you know what that feels like.
Yes.
Kenny, I know you know what that feels like.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. Stop right there.
The problem with a culture that prioritizes rings above all else in the modern NBA is that teams become hyper-focused on making everything as predictable as possible. While that might be great for winning, it strips away the creativity and flair that makes basketball exciting for fans. And let's not forget, the NBA, like any other entertainment business, relies on its fans. Without them, there's no league. Now, I'm not saying LaMelo Ball is the only entertaining player in the NBA because of his street ball style. Steph Curry is still arguably the greatest show on earth with his wizardry. Kyrie Irving remains box office, and Luka is as electrifying as ever. But what sets LaMelo apart is that his style feels fresh, and more importantly, a little more relatable to fans. The vast majority of NBA fans probably grew up playing street ball, trying out wild moves and crazy shots on the court. And LaMelo brings that same vibe to the NBA, proving that kind of flair and creativity you see at your local park can work on the biggest stage in basketball. For now, the NBA needs to figure out how to bring just a little more of this street style of play to the biggest stages of basketball. I mean, can you imagine seeing this level of flair in the NBA Finals? Compare that to the current formula we often get. Drive, kick out, three, transition layup. Drive, kick out, three, transition layup. Sure, it's incredibly effective for winning games, but it highlights a bigger issue that NBA teams are facing. They're winning the battle of efficiency, but losing the war of fan engagement.
Tatum right back. I don't know how you guard that.
Another big issue the NBA is facing right now is the lack of true drama-filled rivalries. There just aren't any that get fans fired up anymore. But let me tell you, the breaking of the Splash Brothers and Klay Thompson's return to San Francisco brought us one of the greatest grudge matches I've seen in a long time. And the game absolutely lived up to the hype. If you're wondering what I mean,